Hello and welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Hoey. Oh, we have another great show for you tonight. So, boys, let's get it started. All right, I think we're going to start with the Celtics. Why not, right?
Why not?
Sure, they played the most recently.
Look, nobody misses Marcus Smart more than Timmy. I'll give it to you. Absolutely. But I tell you something. This Porzingis, in the 7 games that they have played, we'll start with Timmy. Timmy, he's the second best player on the Celtics. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. This guy's a star. He's a star. Why he hasn't got more recognition through the years? I think he's had some serious injuries. Maybe he's had terrible supporting casts. I don't know, but this guy, top 15 player in the league.
It feels like it, right? Yeah, right. Great point. Joe, 7'3", you can't teach that. And the guy moves around as mobile as we've seen a guy 7 foot plus in the league. You know, everybody's going crazy over Wembanyama in Victor, but Porzingis has the same skill sets.
Yeah, and the one thing I caveat is he seems to have trouble, like he couldn't guard Embiid at all. Just doesn't have the...
Who can, Joe?
Well, they made Al Horford do it, and then it ended up being Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Had to guard him, because the only one that could with the footwork to get in front of him anyways. But he does have trouble with the bigger centers. He had trouble with Bam Adebayo too.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be their Achilles heel. The Giannis, Adebayo, Jokic, and Embiid. And they're going to have to figure something out. But more than anything, Missoula's got to get off this. You got to shoot 53s a game. If they're not going in, do something else.
Yeah.
They live in, for the last 4 years, they have lived and died by the three.
Yeah.
I know Timmy has belabored this point, and rightly so, because he just doesn't change course when things aren't working.
I've been to games. They're just not falling, and Tatum continues to fire from 3 and Brown. And and now you add, Porzingis to the mix. Sometimes they're just not falling. And take it to the hole. I think Jason Tatum does his best when he starts the game, taking it to the basket. And then, the 3 comes from that. They have the capability to play a game in the paint and win a game.
And I don't want to see Al Horford taking 3s anymore. He doesn't have the legs for it anymore.
I think they should, like Timmy says, start with Tatum and Brown driving to the hoop. That will open up for the lesser shooters out there like Horford and Porzingis and Holiday and D. White, because they'll be wide open 3s when the defense keeps collapsing, How
many times are we going to see Jaylen Brown, the 300 million plus man, try to dribble through the defense like he did last night a few times? And the foregone conclusion, he's going to turn the ball over. He's making the same mistakes that he makes year after year. I mean, there is no progression. There's regression.
I think one of the secrets to life is know your weaknesses. And Jaylen doesn't seem to be able to recognize. Don't put yourself in that predicament. And he continues to put himself in that predicament, trying to dribble through a double team. He doesn't have the hands for it.
I think he's
nor do I. We don't all have that skill.
Getting through a double team stuff. But I think the coach should be the one that points that out and instructs him on that, to play to your strengths and not to your weaknesses. But sometimes when push comes to shove, you get in that fourth quarter, Tatum doesn't seem to want the ball at all. He disappears, and it falls on Brown to kind of force the action. And that's when that foolishness happens. Tatum has to take a bigger role in the fourth quarter.
Brown has
And
been
not that dribble, step back three. I
Yeah.
don't want, you know.
You're right. But he gets tired. I think he plays too much. He always disappears in the fourth quarter.
Tatum. Yeah. That's a good point, Joe. Look, Brown has been the fourth best player on the team. Would you agree?
I think Drew Holiday is the second best player on the team.
Over Tatum?
Over
Porzingis? No.
Over
Over Derek White? Are you watching the
Yeah.
games?
Yeah. Over Derek White too. Well,
No,
Derek didn't play a couple games.
No, I love Holiday, but his shooting percentage.
You like the scorers.
He's been
No,
terrible.
his shooting percentage is right up there as tops on the team. He's just not a scorer. He's a facilitator for us.
Look, no, Porzingis has been the second best player on the team. Come on, Joe. He's been incredible. He's been more than Timmy. He's been more than we could have asked for.
He's exceeded my expectations. I mean, I don't know how many people on this planet are capable of stopping Embiid with his combination of finesse and size. You know, that's a tall task.
Yeah, and he gets the refs called.
Anyone other than Embiid, boy, he's been pretty good defensively. I mean, I'm not ready to throw this team under the bus by any means.
No, I'm not saying that. No, they're doing fine.
Couple of rough games. I think White being absent, obviously effective. It shows that they're highly dependent on all these guys being there. The depth is low.
I was thinking of the other day. You know who'd be perfect to add to this team? Bring back Daniel Tice.
Oh, come
There's
on.
your 6 fouls. There's your guy to guard the pick and roll. He was always good against the pick and roll. So that takes Embiid and Giannis out of it.
No, we don't need Daniel Tice the third time. Come on, Joe.
I always loved Tice's effort. He was always game.
Yeah, he can handle. He's quick enough to handle the pick and roll and big enough to get in front of Embiid and Giannis. And if he has to take 6 fouls, he takes 6 fouls. The refs always hated him. If he walked on the floor, they called a foul.
They glanced at somebody and they called a foul. That poor guy.
Yeah. Well,
how old is Tice now? How old is Tice?
I don't know. He's got to be in his 30s, right?
Yeah, probably. He's probably still young.
Who's he with now?
Is he still with Houston? Oh, he's
Indiana. Not playing much either. I mean, there's a chance. But I mean,
well, if we can that's what I'm looking for. Someone cheap to replace the 6 fouls Grant used to give you.
No, I got no problem with Tice's effort. The guy gives you everything he's got every game.
I know, but there were times that he was just such a liability out in the court, guys.
No, but you got him as out there. Go get his 5 fouls.
Well, he's not tall enough to be a real effective rim protector.
And he's not strong enough. I mean, I know nobody's stronger than Embiid. The guy's a monster. But I was just thinking of more of a guy, Joe, that can a little bigger of a banger, and he can wear Embiid down a little bit. If you, like you said, with the whole 6 foul thing.
Well, maybe your favorite Kita is going to be that guy.
Yeah, I didn't get to catch the game. I at previous engagements. What about our big second man there? Was it in Kita?
Yeah, but he hasn't played at all.
Brissett, yeah, Keita's been injured. He's been on the injury report the whole year. Brissett's been the first bigger guy to come in.
Now, how tall is Brissett?
Is he 6'8"?
Yeah, probably that.
All right, so
the whole idea is Cornette,
but he does play with a lot of effort and energy.
Now, Cornette's 7 foot, like. Keita's like 7 foot 270, something like that, right?
Well, Cornette is 7 feet, but he doesn't.
Yeah, but he's as thin as a willow, you know.
Yeah, he doesn't. So you have to replace Cornette. He really doesn't add anything moving in the playoffs and stuff, right? I mean, you got to be able, like you said, Joe. You got to be able to deal with, Jokic. You got to be able to deal with Embiid. I mean,
all the good teams have a big guy to deal with. A big, strong guy to deal with.
And Al's just, I don't, what is Al's role moving forward? There's just times it seems awkward having him on the court. I mean,
it seems to make the offense problematic when he's out there.
Sometimes.
Yeah. He's like Marcus used to be, just isn't part of the offense.
Yeah,
He's
I
just
like
an
him more under the
afterthought.
boards, don't you? I mean, there were so many times that they were running guys, shot Sixers last night. I know, Timmy, you didn't see the game. Shot would go up, the guy would pound the middle of the court and jam it through on an offensive rebound. And so there was nobody boxing out at all. There was no big bodies in there.
And they were getting no offensive rebounds. The Sixers were doing a good job boxing out. Every time you'd look when the Celtics shot, there might be one Celtic in there, but 4 Sixers right around in a nice little ring around the basket, corralling the ball.
How many points did Embiid have last night?
I don't know. He just
a ton.
Was he dominant? He was dominant.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, he's one of those dudes, man, who when he's got it going, there's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, and you can't ask anyone to get in front of him. You really can't. I mean, these people have families. I mean, he's huge. And then if he gets breathed on, the refs call a foul.
You know,
he's a flopper. That's what kills him every year. He does so much flopping. He ends up getting hurt. That big body hitting the floor all the time.
Oh, I know. Oh my God.
That's why at the end of the year he's wiped out.
You know, we've seen it in the NBA. These superstars, if they're cooking, there's not much anyone on the planet can do to stop them.
No,
you know,
right.
Larry Bird when he got going, Michael Jordan when he got going, Magic Johnson when he got going,
LeBron.
You know, LeBron when they got it going, and the NBA now the way they call it so tight, you know, I mean, there's not a lot you can do when they get it going.
Well, Timmy, I think you summed it up. Really, everybody's all hands on deck. If they're going to succeed this year, they can't afford one injury or things get out of whack. I assume Jaylen Brown will start to play better. Otherwise, look, the 2 games they lost against obviously top teams in Minnesota and the Sixers, they could have won. So right now, after 7 games, Joe, are you happy with the way the Celtics are looking?
I like, you know, the ones that are, like you said, Jaylen Brown is going to pick up his game. This couple of the games he was superb, but most of them he's just been Mets. The one who has to pick up his game, who's been playing way too tight, is Peyton Pritchard. They've been getting nothing from that guard position off the bench.
God, you're right.
I'll tell you, we were all worried about it, Joe. What would Brogdon's absence mean to the second team? And it's pretty obvious now.
Yeah, Pritchard is playing. I think he'll come out of this funk he's in. He's just way too tight. He's jerking up things and firing stuff, you know, just like he's too tight.
Oh, when he took up that 30-footer last night, I'm like,
yeah, he's
forcing it.
Yes, he is, and
he's trying to justify his salary.
Yeah.
He's trying to justify the contract.
And you know, like Missoula says, oh yeah, I want him to keep shooting threes. I want 53s a game. I want 53s a game. If it's not working, don't do it.
You know, do they have something on the computer, some printout that says,
yes,
you know,
Missoula will quote you
53s a game. You know, it's just like in baseball. I don't know. They might say, we take the first pitch. This is what happens, you know.
Well, what team has won? I mean, Golden State Warriors, they didn't take 53. So what team has ever won the NBA?
And they have the greatest. They have the greatest shooter in the history of humankind.
Too. And then Klay Thompson's pretty damn good too.
The Celtics have been shooting poorly. They shot 39% the last 2 games, and coincidentally, they lost.
Well, you know, Joe, we knew that. What they shoot like 80% against
a real poor defense, and then they ran up against a couple of good defenses.
Who was that they pounded into the ground? That was the Pacers, right?
Wizards?
The Pacers, the Wizards and the Pacers. I mean, that Pacers game, that was like Derek White was throwing them up.
The Pacers without their best player, Halliburton.
Oh, I couldn't believe the shots that were going in against the Pacers. I mean, you know things are going to balance out. You know, they balance out. You know,
I just think they need some guys who can play defense that come off the bench. I'm not worried as much about the offense right now. that we need, again, and we talk about this, and of course Timmy talks about it all the time. We need Tony Allen. Where is reincarnated?
Well, I think the defense and rebounding is Brissett, but they haven't been getting it from the guard position is the problem. They're getting it from the wings, getting it from the big men to an extent. You know, in Cornette and Hauser haven't been bad. And Al hasn't been bad. The problem, I think, is they don't get anything from the guard position. So,
yeah, well, and we like I mentioned it before, Brogdon. It was such a luxury having an all-star basically running your second team. It was a massive luxury.
he was able to keep the offense flowing.
Yes.
Right now, the offense doesn't flow when Holiday sits down or D White sits down. You know, it just doesn't work well.
What grade are we giving Missoula?
It depends on how you look at it. I got to look at it. If you're in the school of thought that is farthest three, and is that just not Missoula? Or is that coming from the top? Is that Brad Stevens saying, "Hey, they're sitting in a meeting and I'm sure they must do this, right? They sit there and they do the analytics and they say, hey, when we do this, when we shoot 53s a game, we win. I mean, is Missoula kind of going as directed, or is he running is he the king of the castle? He's running his own show. I mean, if he's running his own show,
he's been better with timeouts, Timmy. He's been better with timeouts. That was an issue, right, Joe?
And he's been much better dealing with the media. Remember last year how defensive and combative he was?
Yeah.
Well, he was a little like that today after the 2 losses, defending his 50 shots a game.
Yeah.
He was quoting numbers right, left, and down the middle of all the analytics that justify, his thing. But until today, he'd been much better with the media. Wasn't so defensive, so combative.
Part of his job is to get inside of these guys' heads and find a way to get the most out of them. And I don't see him getting the most out of Pritchard right now. Whatever he's saying to Pritchard, whatever he's directing Pritchard to do, I think Pritchard could be doing better. So based on what I've seen, I'd probably give him like a B- right now. I don't think he's getting the most out of everybody.
Again, Pritchard is a defensive liability, and just again, if he's not hitting his shot,
and he's the 7th or 8th man too.
Yeah,
I give Missoula a C because I'm still waiting to see, how things go. I'm not going to give him any lower or any higher right now because this team has to learn to play together. I mean, Holiday and Porzingis are new. You can tell sometimes, especially on defense, that they're not all together on this,
What grade do you give them, Scotty?
I've given them a B because again, I don't care about analytics. Sometimes I think guys that they get more excited, these coaches and the Heim Blooms of the world, they look at the analytics after the game, but they don't even look at the score. They much want to look at all the other stuff. They're 5-2. They played very well. I give them a B. And because they obviously they hit the season running. I mean, some things have been established. Porzingis works for this team, right?
Hey, if you only shoot 39%, lose. They lost to Minnesota in overtime, and they had a chance to tie. Porzingis missed a 3 that would have tied the game, and they should have had another chance because Embiid's foot was well over the end line.
Okay, this is my question to ask you guys. This will be the final question on the Celtics. Brown takes the ball up with 10 seconds left in the end of the Timberwolves game. And nobody sees anything. Nobody ever sees that ball again. And he heaves up a 3-pointer. Does Missoula have the cachet to get into Jalen's face and say, you can't do that?
That's usually called. That's usually the play that's called.
That was not. Trust me. That was
usually they give it to Tatum and he dribbled.
Were you happy with that? Were you happy with that shot at the end of that Timberwolves regulation? Joe?
Joe, go ahead.
Joe, were you happy with that?
No, not really, but I didn't expect anything more.
What are you talking about?
Did you, they had a much better chance last night.
He had 11 seconds. He could have driven to the basket.
Yep.
What's he doing even up a three-pointer for? He had plenty of time to get to the basket. You move, go forward, or even a step back in a 10, 15-footer. It was a tie game. All you needed was 2 points.
And last night, the exact same situation. He drained the three, right?
No, completely different situation. He drained the three to get us down still by
Down
three.
by three. Yeah.
No, this was Joe. All he had to do was get a basket or get a foul, and you win the game. I mean that.
You want him taking it to the basket. He's capable of taking it to the basket.
Oh yeah, he's strong as an ox.
At least drawing a foul. He's got the moves, got the hops, he's got everything. Yeah, I don't like him taking. You just look at the percentages. What are the percentages shooting a three versus taking it to the hole? I mean, they're not even close. It's probably 60%. You're either going to score or get fouled taking it to the basket, and it's probably 36% taking a three.
A lot of times they don't call any fouls down the stretch. But especially that crew last night. That's a crazy crew. That woman hates the Celtics.
But that's a crap that we've been criticizing Tatum about for years, that he would do the step back three to end the game. And then Jaylen Brown does it and he gets a free pass.
Because he's been more effective over the years in the late situations and fourth quarter situations. That's why.
I just don't like the idea of anybody taking a three with the tied game and a chance to go ahead.
No, when you have the opportunity to drive to the basket, the Celtics, the old-time Celtics, and I don't want to bring them up much, and I don't, but the old-time Celtics never would have done that. They drove.
You call a play, you draw guys to you, and you dish it off at the end. You know what I mean?
Well, you have right. You try to get it when it's tied. You try to get as easy as a basket as you possibly get.
It's like in football. It's like in football. You have that play that you're saving to get the 2-point play when you need it or whatever. The last game of the play. You have a play for that. You should have 3 plays in your pocket that you can pull out. That in practice you've shown work like 90% of the time.
And moving forward, you got to. Now that we've seen this, you have to call a timeout.
Yeah,
he only calls timeout to advance the ball when it's late in the game.
Well, that's
like
not
the
working.
only thing he does.
It's not working.
He's reinventing the game. I don't agree with that.
No, I don't agree at all.
You can't keep. They don't give you bonus points for keeping extra timeouts in your pocket for the whole game.
Name one game. Maybe I forgot. Name one game where they didn't call a timeout and then a guy hit a winning shot.
Do you think Pat Riley calls a timeout? Do you think Red Auerbach calls a timeout? Do you think
of course they all do.
The guy down in Miami calls a timeout? Of course they do.
There's 2 schools of thoughts. Spoelstra would. Nick Nurse wouldn't.
I know, but okay, well, I don't know.
And those are the 2 best coaches that I think most.
I'm sorry, but I who do you want the ball in his hands at the end of a game for the Boston Celtics?
Right now, I got a few people.
Yeah, I'm fine with D. White.
I don't mind D. White taking that shot one single bit right now. I mean, use Tatum as a decoy, use Brown as a decoy. There's 3 other guys.
Yeah, no, I'll take D. White.
All 5 of those guys. Even Al Horford's perfectly capable of finishing.
No, I mean,
I don't trust Al because if he doesn't get a good look, it doesn't.
Take those up, but I'm fine with Porzingis. I'm more than fine. I might say D. White might be my top choice.
Yeah, I love D. White. I mean, he's become one of my.
He's been everyone's favorite since he walked in.
He's better than DJ, and that's and I love DJ.
And I agree.
He's
in a small sample.
He's everything you want, like his personality, the way he carries himself, the way he plays, his intelligence. He's just a lovable player. I'll tell you that.
And the fact that he gets better it seems as the season goes on, he's better this year than he was last year, and he was better last year than he was the year before. He's an improver, from junior going to junior college to.
Well, for people who weren't familiar with Dennis Johnson, who played for the Celtics in the 80s, he was at times the perfect player.
Well, he wasn't that great of a shooter, though, Scotty.
No, but he was clutch, Timmy.
Yeah.
If you needed a clutch
he had
shot,
a nice that mid-range runner there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of remember him as like not being that great of a shooter, though.
No, you're right. He wasn't percentage-wise, but if you needed a shot, he'd hit it.
Yeah, he wasn't today's player, but his defense would definitely translate.
Tough as nails. Tough as nails.
Oh my God, loved him.
Tough.
Oh my God, you could give me 12 Dennis Johnson.
Like you're in an alley fight, Dennis Johnson would not be a bad guy to have on your side.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right, boys, we have to do it. The next two subjects, we have to go to the New England Patriots. They're in Germany, and my first question is, can they stay there?
The Colts. They've been waiting years and years, decades, to give the Patriots a beating.
I know.
Whenever you see, what team do the people of Indiana hate most? It's never like the Cubs or something you would think. It's always New England.
Oh, we wrecked so many years. We wrecked so many years for them.
Oh
they had Peyton Manning. I tell you, I remember when we had the luxury box at Gillette, and the owner of the Colts, Irsay there, he was a chain smoker, probably because he was on the perks all the time. But there was an area out back where you couldn't smoke. They didn't care who you were. You couldn't smoke in the box, So anyone with a luxury box got to smoke. So I used to smoke my cigars out there with him. He'd have 3 stadies with him. It'd be me and him for hours during the games, right? And he was a cool guy. I got to be honest with you. I know there's been a lot of bad press about the guy, but he used to be so freaking pissed off because they just couldn't beat the Patriots.
No,
he was, we would always have their number. And I'd say, "How's it feel writing that check to Peyton today?" And he'd be like, "That son of a bitch. We just can't get past you guys." We were their bane.
Yeah. Who's their quarterback?
Does it even matter?
Oh, he was injured. It was the kid they drafted this year, but he got injured. So I forget now. It's someone.
It seems like everybody's better than Mac, doesn't it?
They're like 4-5, I think, right? So they're better. They're 4-5. They're better record.
They're a decent team. They're not a bad team.
They should beat the Patriots. Because everybody beats the Patriots.
Oh, they will. And I think like Tim says, Irsay is probably down in that locker room begging them. Yeah. Just pour it on while we have the chance.
Well, look, Belichick.
Colts are 4-5.
Belichick has lost the locker room. There's no question. So Jack Jones, who the Patriots should have cut the moment, he left Logan Airport
with the guns,
handcuffs. Yeah. I don't know why they didn't cut him. He decides to run his mouth and to show up late to the hotel on Saturday. J.C. Jackson, who proved to be a terrible signing even at the minimum salary. Yeah. Why haven't they even cut these two idiots? They're not even. They didn't bring them to Germany.
They got nobody else.
Yeah,
that's why.
Trent Brown's not going to be there either.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's out between the ankle and something personal.
And then Duger posted something on Twitter last night with some song "Free Me." So he wants out too. So the whole defensive.
You know what they're missing? And I saw. Who I saw was Howie Long's son. Chris Long played with us for a year, won a Super Bowl, right? Yeah. His analysis on the Patriots was they're missing guys, and we always worried about this, the carry, who was going to carry on that. I don't know if the right word for it is the Patriots way, but that aura that they had in the locker room of accountability, that, maybe it started with Willie McGinnis, and it carried on to Brewski, and then it carried on to, who was our big nose tackle there? Wolford, and then it carried on to Edelman and Danny Amendola. That accountability, hey, you freaking get the count right before the snap. You don't jump off sides on on a punt where they only need 2 yards and an offside to get them a first down. They don't. I mean, maybe Slater the carryover. I don't know, how does your special teams guy carry that over? They don't have anybody like that anymore. Maybe David Andrews. I don't think so. They don't have that person in the locker room or that group of people anymore.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
We're like every other team we used to laugh at for lack of discipline, lack of self accountability.
But that's special teams. They've been look, just that he kept that Cam McCord, the special teams coach, and that we thought they couldn't be any worse than they were the last 2 years, and they're worse than ever. In fact, they cost them that game on Sunday.
Offsides,
stupid penalties constantly. I mean, they can't do anything right on special teams, but he keeps Cam McCord. That just sums it up for Bill Belichick right now.
I must say those 2 kickers have been doing much better of late.
No, they have.
Punter's been awesome.
Yeah. You're a really bad team when the punter's the best player on the team.
And the field goal kicker has gotten consistent too. So those 2 have worked out. It's the people blocking for them just don't know what they're doing.
Well, this team really needs to be blown up. Wouldn't you agree?
Schooler has been just out of control.
Yeah.
He's had a penalty in like each of the last 3 games. He had 2 in the last game, both of them bad ones.
As we all know in the NFL, it starts with the quarterback, though. It begins and ends with the quarterback.
Every team that's you build from the inside out, and you build from the quarterback. That's just the way, and we don't have one.
No, and we don't have a guy. We don't have a guy. If I'm sitting in the locker room, Mac Jones is yelling at me to do something, I'm like, go fuck yourself. I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Go play tennis.
Yeah.
What would they do with Mac Jones at the end of the season? Just try to trade him? Because obviously they have
no one will trade for him.
I mean,
well, there's always everyone likes a reclamation project. You know what I mean? There's always someone. There's so many. There's so many openings for quarterbacks.
I know there's always openings for quarterback. If anyone had wanted them, I'm sure they would have offered something in trade, and the deal would have been made.
Well, I assume you can get a 6th or 7th round pick.
That's about all you could hope for.
I think at this point, yeah. Will they keep him as a backup? Will they just try to get rid of him?
I don't think he has much. Yeah, I don't think he has much to offer at any level on this team. Really, I don't. Yeah. I don't think I want him around my team.
Exactly. He's not a football player. You don't want him in your locker room.
I wonder how much fun. I wonder how much fun he's having. He's got to be freaking.
Oh, it's got to be.
I watched that documentary on Johnny Manziel. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. He just lost interest. He just didn't care about football anymore. And I don't know if I can say that about Mac, but he looks very unhappy.
He's a wealthy guy. The guy's made what, $5-6 million a year. He had all these endorsements. So the guy's made over $20 million already.
Oh yeah, he's set for life.
He's set for life. So he can sit there and hold a clipboard for some team like Indianapolis for the next 5 to 10 years. So he'll stay in the league. I mean, they take guys off the couch and playing him.
Well, the league is funny when they want a quarterback as a quarterback.
I mean, this was really bad, and
they'll take guys off the street and set in front of him.
Do they need to blow the thing up?
And we were all begging that they draft him too.
Well, I think they were well on the way to getting a very high draft pick and taking their pick of this year's. Not that
they don't. Do they even have a core, Joe? What's our core?
On defense, they do.
You can turn it around the NFL with a lot of. You got to have the quarterback. I'll tell you. I'll take if that kid from Michigan's available. I'll take him all day.
Who?
Kid from Michigan.
Usually you hear that Drake May from North Carolina and Caleb Williams from California.
The Michigan kid's in the conversation too.
Yeah.
Oh, he is. All right, so there's a third. I didn't know that. I thought it was just the U.S.
McCarthy, I believe his name is.
Well,
we're not going to see much in Michigan with all the cheating scandals going on.
He's throwing like 80%. Last night I saw, I think it was 80%.
We've never had luck with Michigan quarterbacks, Timmy. Come on, just
J.J. McCarthy.
Is he a prospect? I haven't really.
He's another Irish name too, just like Brady.
Oh, yeah.
From Grand Park, Illinois.
Let's wait
6
to the
foot-
6th round, Joe.
6'3", class. No, he won't go to the 6th round.
No,
Kid's going to be a first round draft pick. Oh, I know. That went right over my head, Scott.
Yeah.
I want to see his stats here real quick.
Look, right now, if the season ended, they'd have the 5th pick in the draft.
Right now, he's throwing 72.5% completion rate.
Wow. I don't want to talk about a tackle. I don't want to talk about any position.
Oh no, you have to go quarterback. If you're going to be down there in the top 5, you're talking quarterback. And if your guy, you think someone in front of you is going to take your guy, you give up next year's first round pick and we'll go up 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So one last thing, this kid McCarthy, he's 75.7% completion rate, 18 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Oh, that sounds good.
Quarterback rating of 188.7.
The pros do like that you to be 6'5" or so.
How tall is he?
6'3". 6'3".
All right, that works for me.
Makes the kid. He's not 5'10", you know.
Yeah.
Like
Bryce Young there.
Okay, if they lose this weekend, will Belichick be fired?
No.
They're not going to fire him mid-season. He's
okay.
That.
He's
earned 6 Super Bowls.
They're not even going to fire him at the end of the year, Scotty. That's just talk show fodder.
Well, why isn't Kraft coming out and saying Bill Belichick's our coach to the end of the year?
That's usually the kiss of death when you get the.
No, but why?
When the owner says that means you're fired the next day.
But why is he letting that chatter
the kiss
continue?
of death.
But why is he letting that chatter continue, though?
I don't know, Scotty. They're not firing him. He brought them 6 Super Bowls or 10 Super Bowl appearances. Is that right? Do I have that right?
We know how many times did we lose? We lost to the Giants twice, Eagles 9, right?
Yeah.
9. So 9.
All
right.
He's got more rings than anyone else in history.
9 Super Bowl. You think we owe it to this guy to leave with some dignity?
Yeah.
Okay, but if his name was Joe
no one's even close. The only one that's close to him is Brady. He has 1 less ring.
Oh, if he's anybody else, Scotty, he's gone.
Okay, there you go. All right. No, Belichick has 2 with the Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's got 8 rings.
Yeah. Nobody's got more than that, right?
No, he's the most.
Yeah.
There was a strength and conditioning coach that won 3 with Dallas, and then he won 3 with us. But then he retired.
I remember him. Yeah.
Wasn't there a defensive lineman who had a ton of them too?
Charles Haley.
Haley.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he had like 6. I think he was with the 49ers.
He was with 49ers then the Cowboys, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a train wreck, but we got to go to prediction time. It's Joe, and you were picking the Patriots for a long time until you finally got smart.
Wait, can we go out? Can we look at last week's picks, Scott? Did you write them down?
No, I didn't. We had them all losing.
We just start documenting these things. You know?
They scored more than we thought they would. That's for sure. Both teams.
Yeah, that was a terrible game. This has been a terrible season.
It's 2 bad teams, and I think I'll say 28-10.
What time's the game start?
Colts, 9:30 in the morning.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm not going to watch that whole game.
So Joe, I'm going to write it down. Joe, you got 28-10, right?
Yep.
Indy. Patriots, Indy. Okay. I'm going 20. I'm going. Good question. I'm going to go 20-17. Indy. Mac Jones seems to have like an engine with the governor on it. Like how fast he can go, how many points he can score. He seems to get to like 17 and that's the limit. No more.
Yeah. Do you have any confidence in Mac in the red zone?
Juju Smith-Schuster. As mad as I want to be at Mac, that was catching the ball.
Yeah.
He's a stiff. Oh gosh, he is stiff.
Patriots Colts are favored by 2.
Wow.
Over under is 42.5.
Wow. Well, that's probably
that's fair. I mean, there's no home team in West Germany.
Yeah, West Germany. They don't call that anymore.
I bet you the Patriots probably have a much bigger following. They've had a
Joe,
couple of
nice.
German players over the years.
Yeah.
You'll get that 1980s before the
Who was that
before
big
the
German
Berlin
Sebastian Vollmer.
Yeah.
West
huge.
Germany. I haven't heard that in many years, Joe.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah,
guys
remember
been to
the
Germany?
West and
Have you
East
guys been
Germany.
over there? Have you been
Germany, yeah, I have.
there? Yeah,
Yes.
pretty cool. I
Very
went to
cool.
Berlin. I thought it was pretty cool.
I saw
I was there, but I was only a baby, so I can't remember it.
I saw U2 in Cologne, Germany, in the 80s.
I saw them in Dublin.
Oh, you
back
did?
when
Oh,
they were like 15 years old. They were the fifth band on the bill. I'd gone there to see the Undertones, right?
oh, the Undertones. I remember that. Yeah, that's funny.
And U2 stole the show. You know, I
Yeah, they
think
did.
Where was that at, Joe? Where was that?
it was just outside Dublin. I don't think it was in Dublin itself. It was just outside in a park.
Well, that's
And it
great
was like a
story.
5-band bill. The Undertones was the big act, and Stiff Little Fingers, and there was some good bands.
I got a great story. My buddy Cullum Allen owned it was a bar in Jamaica Plain called the Bog, and he booked this filthy looking band. He said he never saw grungier looking people in his life. Nirvana.
Oh, that's great.
I thought you were going to say the Pogues.
He said, I don't think they bathed for like a month, you know.
You probably know the Jay Giles band, to me, right? I'm sure you know.
I was at Ernie Bach Jr.'s little get together last year, and the Uba Gooba there was like 5 feet from me singing for like 2 hours.
Peter Wolf.
Peter Wolf.
Yeah. Wow.
I was at the Rascala the night that they came in and played Incognito.
Oh, yeah.
Peter Wolf. I mean, he's got to be 77 years old. I think he was up there dancing like a madman for 2 hours. I would have needed a respirator. So thin, though. They're so thin, these guys. Like Mick Jagger, him, Steven Tyler. They're like thin as rails, you know.
I know that's
A lot of
That
cocaine.
they're still alive is what's amazing.
still alive. If Keith Richards is still alive is the most
Oh my
extraordinary thing
God.
of all freaking time.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh my
He's
God. Yeah,
like-
you're right. Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, for God. Well, even Ron Wood. Forgetting about Mick Jagger, Ron Wood looked like he was dead 40 years ago.
Yeah, he looked like a cadaver, but way
Oh.
back.
Between drugs and STDs, you figured one of those factors would get them, right?
And how's it the healthiest one of the Stones, the drummer,
Brian Jones, yeah.
he dies first. The one who took care of himself the most. Holy
But
shit.
there was under mysterious circumstances too.
No, he was sick. Charlie.
Oh, Charlie Watt.
What?
Yeah.
No, he was sick.
I'm thinking of the Brian Jones.
Oh yeah, well he was a partier.
Yeah.
All right, we have to go to the Red Sox now. For God's sake.
I feel hope.
Rumors.
I feel hope.
Verdugo's
Well, they couldn't have any trades because they had to break up the general manager's meeting. They had to cancel it.
Why?
There was a bug going around. They were all getting some stomach flu.
Oh,
and
is
so
that
they couldn't
right?
have their meeting, so they canceled the whole thing.
Oh, for God's
All right.
sake.
All right, you know what they remind me of? An alcoholic who's hit rock bottom. Okay, and now they're gonna rise.
Okay, the rumor is Gleyber Torres for Verdugo. Gleyber Torres is the worst defensive second baseman I've ever seen, and he's the laziest second baseman I've ever seen. Perfect for the Red Sox.
Why? Do you think that's gonna happen?
It looks like that's I mean,
I heard
would we-
they say
why-
the Yankees have soured on him because he's getting. This is going to be his last year of arbitration, isn't it?
he's
What
lazy.
what kind of numbers does he have?
25, 68, 270.
Better than
He's
what we
lazy.
have, right? Better than
He's
what
actually
we
your
have.
DH. He's actually your DH. You can't play him at second base.
So we already have a dozen DHs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're losing some of them. Like Turner, our best one, is gone.
Well, I don't know how can you sign Turner when you just gave him $7 million to leave?
I know. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, you can't say. And now the rumors JD Martinez may be coming back. I'm like, you
No,
got
no. Well, didn't
I wouldn't mind seeing JD Martinez. How did he do this year?
we know Tim, but I think what's his name? The new GM put the kibosh on that. He said, no, I don't think so.
Okay, so Verdugo goes. I'd rather they were saying Clark Schmidt, the pitcher for the Yankees. And first of all, do you even want us to deal with the Yankees, guys?
Wait, no, we got last time, we've always gotten fleeced by them. Babe
No,
Ruth
no,
and
that's not true.
Rocky Lyle and
I'm looking at Julio Daniel Martinez's numbers here for 2023. Anybody want to take a guess?
No, he had great numbers, like 35 homers.
271, 33 home runs,
Yeah.
103 RBI.
No, he was good.
Come on, man. We couldn't have used that this year.
No. Turner was a very similar player. I would have taken Turner over JD anytime. Turner was fantastic.
plus Turner could play in the field too.
Yeah. Look, I don't think
Turner was clutch. I'll give him that. He was clutch.
So what kind of money did JD make last year?
Oh, I think he made 10 million, right?
And what do we pay Turner?
What ended up being about 18?
Well, yeah, because he did the player option to.
That was a terrible contract.
Yeah.
Heim was just a complete idiot.
Well, Heim didn't do the contracts, did you? Wasn't that someone else?
No,
for $8 million less, I would have taken the 33 home runs. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. No, I mean, yeah, in hindsight, but I mean, Turner was very good. It's just that he's just an idiot. I can't. Breslow, there's no way.
Schwarber hit 45-50 the last couple years, right?
Yep. JD 1 year, $10 million he signed with the Dodgers. I mean, that's pretty good. They got their money's worth.
They sure did. I mean, look, obviously DH is not the big problem, but Verdugo is gone. There's no question. Breslow has made it public already.
Wait.
Yeah, the manager hates him, He doesn't like it here either.
Yeah.
Verdugo?
Yeah.
He's not, to me, he's not the big problem,
Oh, he's not, but he's been banging heads with Cora and made it known he's not that real happy here. And, a team like LA or the Diamondbacks would love a Mexican player.
Yeah, but no, I think he's going to go to the Yankees. I think they're the ones hot for it. If they give us this Clark Schmidt, I guess a pitcher, I'll take a pitcher.
I'll take a pitcher any day.
Remember all right, so.
Oh, and Joely Rodriguez is gone too.
Oh my God, I know that's very emotional.
Corey
Kluber is gone. Oh my God, we hardly knew you, Corey. What a move over signing Nathan Eovaldi, the World Series champion, the man who won 5 playoff games in the World Series. Instead, let's have Corey Kluber, who is our opening day starter.
And who did he sign instead of Walker?
And Walker's back on the market. They declined.
Yeah, he only got a 1-year deal last year. Give him another 1-year deal.
I like Walker. Yeah, why not? Right?
Let him be like David Ortiz. 1-year deals every year.
You look back on it, it's staggering that Ortiz had to fight for every contract.
Every year he wanted an extension.
They nickeled and dimed him.
No, that they finally gave him 2 years once, and they acted like it was a gift.
Yeah.
Guy's the greatest Red Sox of all time.
Well, they had him over a barrel. He had no leverage, and they had all the leverage, and they used it.
Don't worry, we'll give you a street sign instead of a 2-year contract.
All David had to do was play out the contract and become a free agent, but he never would.
And the Yankees would have signed him in 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, just to get him away from you.
Oh my! Can you imagine him at Yankee Stadium, 81 games a year?
But I think Poppy spent money like water because he always needed the new contract.
It feels like Big Poppy's probably broke right now. Does it feel that
my
way?
My sponsor is his realtor.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
And it feels like he's going to be broke or already broke.
Well, he still gets lots of commercials, and he works for MLB. He must make $1 million just doing the games.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying, like you said though, he's spending a lot.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's still coming in though. Not like a lot of these guys.
He is getting some deferred. I read somewhere he's still getting like $1 million or $2 million a year in deferred payments from the Red Sox.
Yeah, he's doing just fine. So look, the Red Sox have to sign at least one starter. quality star, right?
Oh, no, they need
Or
3.
sign as a free agent.
Yeah.
Oh, as a free agent.
Scotty, I say two.
No, but I'm saying they're going to
Two,
trade.
they need two. They need to sign two $30 million pitchers.
I agree. I mean,
I'd go with the Japanese guy, Yamamoto.
they're not going to get it.
I don't think so
It
either.
sounds like he's the next coming of God.
Oh, that's what I meant to ask you, Scotty. It's, definite. Casas is one of the 3 finalists.
Yeah.
He's not gonna win. Henderson will win. We know that. But they get something.
Yeah, they get international money.
So wouldn't that help with the signing of Yamamoto?
No. This is completely different because that's for the international draft.
Okay.
Explain to the uneducated here what you're talking about.
No, they get like pool money for if Casas is in the top 3 of the rookie of the year, which he will be. They get extra
he's a
pool money
finalist.
to spend overseas for players.
You're only given a certain amount each year, like 40 million. And you can't spend over that.
Yeah.
And that's all you can. And what
But
Scotty's saying
like the
is
kids
you
in the
get the
Dominican
rookie.
Republic.
Yeah.
It's basically the Dominican Republic.
What's the reasoning behind that?
Well, they
So
don't.
that the good teams can't dominate the market and take over like the Dominican.
No, but so Casas finishes 3rd in the rookie of the year. Why would the Red Sox get a bonus? Like
That's a great. I don't know why they.
Right? I don't know why
that.
they didn't either.
No, I think that was
And
something.
the Orioles will get something even better. Don't the Orioles get an extra
They
draft?
get an extra first-round pick.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
At the end of the draft. It has something to do with the basic agreement they signed. I think it has to do with something with them, the teams not screwing around with years of service when these guys come up or something.
A lot of times, Tim, they'll mess with a guy, so that.
So
They remember they wouldn't bring him up for like 15 days.
They're getting a reward for putting a good player in on a full-time staff.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yes.
Okay.
Not screwing around with the whole 15 days in the season.
Okay. Like the Patriots kid for the Bruins, something like that.
Yeah. It's something like that. But Casas, I think, is the best player on the Red Sox. Would you agree with that?
I hate his defense.
He is terrible. But
see, again, I watch every game.
He plays first base. It's not an important.
I don't see that at all. I don't see that at all. I don't know where.
Did you see I saw the stats in there's only 12 worse position players in the major leagues that have a worse defensive rating. He's 13th worst.
I don't see
Scotty
it.
Doesn't see it.
I know, but I see
Scotty,
no, he has no range. He's a statue, Scotty. He's a statue there. That's what it is.
When we're in love, we don't see anything negative.
It's true. We don't see
he's not a mover and shaker. He's 250 pounds. He's a football player.
Nobody could have got to that ground, and nobody could have got there. I know he could make it over to first base. Nobody could have got there.
He has 1 stolen base in his major league career. I think it was.
He walks really nice, though. Look at the walk, though. He walks really nice.
Oh, he's my favorite player. It's not.
He's
a hitter, not a fielder, and that's why he's playing first base.
Yeah, I have high hopes from.
Well, I mean, he was fantastic. The second half of the season, he was the best. He came to the major leagues with a plus defender rating. I'm just saying, I agree that he wasn't the first baseman that we thought he would be, but I think that's the kind of guy who can improve his agility. Like you said, Joe, he's a big kid. I think he'll end up being a very good first baseman.
And he seems dedicated to the game. He seems dedicated to his craft. So, I mean, that's what you want to see. We can see guys improve their deficiencies if they have the right attitude, I guess, right? Saying, hey, I had a bad defensive year. I'm going to go out. I'm going to take a shitload of ground balls, and I'm going to work on improving.
Well, he's going to be the greatest first baseman in the history of our lifetime. He is.
George Scott, what about my man, the Boomer?
Well, move on.
Come on. I love the Boomer, but that was remember they traded him to Milwaukee. Come on.
He came back and tore it up.
No, and Boomer was nice. He had some fun seasons, 77.
Yeah, 40 home
78.
runs a couple times.
I love the Boomer, but come on, Cases is a stud, man. Boomer.
I
But
wouldn't put-
he's got to
I-
have the career before you
Hey,
can put him ahead of someone else.
Cases cannot hold George Scott's jockstrap at this moment. Let me tell you right now.
What I like
about
about
that.
Cases is his patience at the plate and his ability to with the strike zone. He has a very good
Right.
sense of the strike zone.
Cases has done nothing to demonstrate that he can have years like George Scott has had in his career.
And George Scott was Gold Glove.
Talking about that's not true.
George
at
Scott was
all.
the best first baseman of his generation defensively.
Okay, he was very good defensively. I'll give you that. But
Yeah, let me.
But he
had
was a
some
good home run
monster-
hitter.
He had some monster years offensively.
okay, but Cases had an incredible year this year.
How many home runs this year?
They have like
for
26, 25, 26 homers.
All right, let's look at the Boomer here.
Come on.
Stats.
George
Scott
no.
stats.
Scotty doesn't want to hear stats.
Well, you can give me stats. I don't care. You can talk to me about stats all you want, but I mean,
Well, all I know is Casas learned how to hit somewhere in this season. He was hitting 190, the first 2 months of the season, Scotty?
yeah,
And didn't he finish about 270?
yeah, the kid was unbelievable. He was one of the best players in baseball in the second half. He had 24 homers, 263.
So if he was hitting 190 after 2 months, he had to hit about 320 to get up.
That's
to
exactly
270.
right. Yeah, and his on-base percentage was unbelievable. The guy, I mean,
Well, that was his worst year in professional baseball as far as walks per at bat. He used to, before this, his worst year was the year before this. He only walked 20% of the time. This year, he only walked 13% of the time.
All right,
But he really has a good sense of the strike zone.
his
the Boomer went on a stretch 24, 20, 24, 17, 36 home runs in 70, 75, 33 home runs in 77. And the best glove I've ever seen at first base.
Cases.
He did turn
I don't
that
wanna
double
turn
pay
it.
planer.
Cases' OPS was 856.
Yeah, it was excellent by the end of the year.
Yeah.
363 double play. You couldn't beat him on it.
I'd take him over Devers. Moving forward.
What is his OPS?
His OPS was 856 this year.
Very good.
What was Boomer's?
George, 1977 it was 837, 857 and 75,
Okay, there you go.
858 and 73,
This is-
840 and 79.
Those
is
are
a
all
player.
very good years.
Similar numbers, yeah, right now. Yeah.
But the defense, I don't know. We talk about the lack of defense on this team. I think that's a glaring need for this team.
Oh my God. That's what you look
I
at
think that's Breslow's first order of business is getting that infield squared away.
yeah. The defense,
The
playoffs.
corner, okay, your corner guys are bad. So at least have a couple guys up the middle. Geez, do you see that rumor? How they want to trade for Soto, right? But that San Diego might want to ship us back Xander. Eat the
really?
Xander contract. If you want Soto, he'll come cheap if you take Xander.
Oh my God. First of all, I know
Then you put Story at second. Problem solved.
Xander's gonna be back with the Red Sox. There's no question in my mind before the end of his career. No question. Xander's coming back here.
Wouldn't
Right?
this be Jackie Bradley Jr. all over again? We all laughed at the stupidity of that contract.
Well, you will see this. At least you'd be getting a top 5 player in the major leagues for taking on that contract.
You'd be taking
What
on
did we
$250 million
get with
bucks,
Jackie
Joe.
Bradley? Nothing.
Hey, as Russell says, it's not my money. I don't give a shit.
No.
Right?
Yeah,
but that was one of the dumbest freaking contracts ever given out in the history of baseball.
Oh yeah.
But wait, first of all, you're gonna have to pay Soto huge money. Probably
Isn't he a free agent after next year?
Or something like that. So you're gonna he's probably getting a $400 million contract.
Good.
He's getting more than Devers.
Good.
You're gonna take 250 million. So you're going to take on 600 million. Okay, I'm giving him back Bobby Dahl back. I mean, if you take it on 600,
Yeah, if you're going to take on that kind of money, and it's just like the Dodgers when they took Crawford and Beckett and
now just taking Xander back. No, Soto's in the deal, and we keep him. Yes.
Well, that's how you get Soto is you Xander's bad contract too, and then you only have to give up like Bobby Dahl back.
And put Xander on left field. Put Xander in left field.
No, you put Xander at second base.
Keep Story short. Fine, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, there you go. And Xander got paid. He's not going to bitch and moan.
But that doesn't address the defense really though. Xander, as we talked about, lost a lot of his range. Right? I mean, are we?
Well, second base you don't need.
Would we have a minus shortstop and a minus second baseman, a minus third baseman, and a
Timmy Story's he's one of the top
very steady
shortstops in baseball.
Okay, all right.
And you put Xander, like Joe said, you put Xander at second base, he's going to excel. I mean,
would you say he's a plus defensive at second then?
Oh my God, absolutely. He'd be
shortstop's moving to second. It's not the way it usually goes.
Oh, that's an easy move for these guys. I mean,
that solves a lot of problems.
And they were a good double play combination a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So I would imagine just switching roles won't bother them at all. They probably do it a million times in practice.
But look, I'm actually willing to put Xander at third and DH Devers.
I'm with you on that.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Because Xander would be an excellent third baseman. And that's when we talked about this many years ago, when we talked about Xander, we thought that was
eventually,
that eventually he would end up going to third and then ending up.
Devers would go to first. Remember, that was the way we thought it was going to go.
I don't think you can play Devers at third base anymore. I think you can't go into the season after what we saw this year and think we're a serious ball club by putting him. I think he's your DH or your outfielder or your left fielder. I mean,
what about Yoshi?
Does he really fit on this team anymore?
No, but isn't he signed to a?
Yeah, he's definitely and they're not going to choose. But again, Breslow, he didn't sign Yoshida. He's got no loyalty to him. Yeah. He didn't promise him anything.
Yoshida's a pretty good hitter, but he's got a lot of warts on him too. He's slow.
I wouldn't be shocked if he moved.
He's a poor fielder.
I wouldn't be shocked. Would you be shocked if he moved Yoshida in a deal?
No, not at all. Especially if you get pitching. If you can get defense and pitching for Yoshida, there's always someone who needs offense, and that's all he provides you with.
Yeah.
And now that there's a DH in every team in the major leagues, guys like that are more valuable as trade prospects.
Would you? I see. It felt like Warner during the press conference was giving Breslow the warning: "Don't trade Devers," by saying that we're building around Devers, which I just thought it was kind of.
Oh, give me a star pitcher for Devers. I'll take it all day.
Oh my God! Yeah, I don't think they would do that, but a young stud pitcher, like that kid in Seattle, I would take them in a second.
And Devers is attractive. He's like a guaranteed 40 home runs, 120 RBIs.
Yeah. Look, it's going to be very.
I don't know where he gets those RBIs, but he gets them every year.
Never seems to get them when they matter,
I don't think there's any untouchables. Would you agree? I don't think there's, and then we'll go to the Bruins. There's any untouchables in the minor league system for the Boston Red Sox with Breslow. I think he's willing to move anyone.
Yeah, all their prospects are Dombrowski's guys, right?
Yeah, I mean, he wants to win now. He wants to win now. No more of this building. It's we've been building for 5 years. What I mean?
Yeah, Breslow's probably on a 3-year plan, not 5-year plan. He's probably on 3.
But he's not married to any of these guys. He's probably never met one guy in the minor league system. If you think about it, he's never met personally one player in the Red Sox minor league system, so he could care less about them. They're commodities.
He's read about them, obviously, where he lives here.
Right, but he hasn't. No, he's obviously been briefed now, Joe. But he hasn't met any of these guys, so he doesn't have any personal relationship with any of them. He keeps on talking that he's worried about the major league team, not the minor leagues.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great idea because that's the only thing that counts. It doesn't matter if Greenville wins the championship.
No, it doesn't matter at all. It's exciting, right? We're excited about Breslow, like you said, Timmy. I mean, it's not Heim, and that's enough for me
That's
right
that's
now.
good.
Yeah, right.
That's
all right.
really
We go.
How about we go to the Bruins here?
We sure go to
throw Tim a bone.
Timmy. Look, it's been a lot of talk this week about the Omar Swayman combination, and can the Bruins move forward with this season by keeping both of them when they have other needs and they both have high value right now? Are you buying that, or would you want to keep this? Not.
I think the goaltending situation is what you dream about, Scotty. I mean, and injuries are always a factor with goalies, right? I mean, they go down quite readily. I don't think you mess the goaltending. I mean, they started out so strong. That was all goaltending. 80% of those wins, those games were toss-ups. It was the goaltending that won those games. I do not mess with the goaltending.
Seems
Who's throwing this around to get rid of?
Lots of rumors, right, Joe? You've heard them. Lots of rumors.
Yeah, but I'm with Tim on this. You can't replace goaltending. And a lot of times, let's say you got one good guy, one bad guy, so you get rid of the bad guy. Well, then all of a sudden the good guy goes to hell. They're very they're like field goal kickers.
Now we got one in the
relief
minors
pitches. It's
good,
all
right?
in their heads.
Yeah, Boosie.
We got one in the minors so move him.
He looked good during the preseason. He looked
move him.
Well, I think I'm
not messing with these two guys.
I agree. I just the whole consideration is because they have a hard cap.
These guys need something to write, I think, sometimes.
Well, yeah, getting rid of Olmark would give you a whole lot of cap space.
Yeah.
Swayman wouldn't give you much cap relief.
So, well, look, they have received some great contributions from rookies that they didn't think they were going to. Partois.
He fell out of nowhere, man. This kid just fell out of nowhere.
He wasn't supposed to make the team. He's on a two-way contract. He's on a minor league contract.
I never heard his name before this. All of a sudden,
well, he's 19. He came straight from the draft.
So this has really changed it, right? Now this Mason kid, the
defenseman,
Laurie.
Yeah. This kid's a stud. This kid's like you talk about, Timmy, and I always think about this. Like you say, these kind of guys stay in the league 15 to 20 years.
Well, he's 6'5". He's a big kid.
Yeah, they don't go
him
anywhere.
And Carlo are like the twin towers out there.
Yeah, he played. Carlo's a 6'5". I don't want to say pussy, but he doesn't play.
No, he doesn't play very well this year. Timmy.
No, but he doesn't play. He's not like 6'5". Oh my God, I'm afraid to fight this guy.
No, I mean? True. But
this other kid is though. This other kid's a tough kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, it's 1-1. They're tied with the Islanders.
So all of a sudden, we didn't think they were getting any help from the minor leagues, and look, they got 3 guys who are playing.
Beecher and Geeky.
Give it to management for a good player evaluation.
And their top guy, I don't even hear anything about Lizelle.
Oh, he's had 7 points in the last 3 games down there.
Is that right?
Let's go back to this defense.
Like 3 goals and 4 assists in the last 3 games.
Wow.
Defense was like finding a golden nugget. You know what I mean?
Well, they had high hopes for him, I think.
I know, but
I think they got rid of a bunch of their scouts from the Chiarelli days that screwed up those first couple of drafts for Sweeney.
Yeah.
Because now they're drafting much, much better.
Well, this is a team that's going to make the playoffs. I don't think we have to worry about that anymore. Yeah. But I think they're kind of built for playoff hockey in a sense. They play these 3-2, 2-1 kind of games.
I'll tell you, they're physically bigger.
Much bigger. Much bigger.
It's a big
Yeah.
team. It's a more rugged, probably more durable.
Yeah.
You know.
So this may be a better team. Would you agree that for the playoffs than last year?
No, I think. I mean, obviously it didn't go well. That was a great team last year. That was a great team. I mean, Bergeron is, Poitras is doing okay, but he's not Bergeron.
Well, Bergeron was done by the end of the year. In the playoffs, he was nothing left.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have someone. Coyle does all their big face-offs now, where it used to be Bergeron.
Okay.
Yeah, I like this team. I like this. Am I picking them to win the Stanley Cup? I don't know. I mean, it's a toss-up, but they're in the conversation.
Do we miss Taylor Hall at all?
No. His 34 points in 82 games? No.
But he was a solid player, Joe. He was solid.
Oh, he could have been, but he didn't show up most nights. He's as fast as lightning. But how often did you see it? He could skate like the wind, and you just never saw it.
Okay, I'm going to make a prediction. Bertuzzi will be back with the Bruins.
He looked like he would be happier with Marchand and the guys than he was with them.
He's already the fourth line, and they're not even playing him.
Yeah,
really.
So
wow.
Obviously, Toronto will probably take a lot of that money, and then we'll probably give him like a third-round pick, and then we got Bertuzzi back.
That was funny when they were playing him, and he was fooling around with the Bruins and the rest of the Toronto.
Yeah,
guys.
he wants back.
Giving him the evil eye.
I don't understand.
Did you watch that? Did you watch that game?
Yeah.
My God, Toronto can fly, can't they?
Yeah.
That top line is unbelievable.
So fast.
Marner and Matthews.
I'm looking at them and going, how can we compete against these guys? Oh my God!
But they're top heavy. They're just that one line.
Yeah, that one line though, they fly.
Yeah, but they're Maple Leafs. They're the Maple Leafs. They always find a way to screw it up.
Oh, they will. They're the Jets of hockey. You know what I mean? They will find a way to screw it up.
Okay, so will Bertuzzi be back? Timmy, is he coming back?
You know what, Scotty? I hadn't even thought about it.
Would he fit well in this team right now?
You know, he's got that grit to him, that sandpaper that we like in this town. Yeah, sure he'd fit.
Joe?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, but he fit in the current. Does he fit in?
Yes, I think he would be a great fit on that third line, the left wing.
Yeah, I felt like he was the best player. Obviously, it was only 7 games, but I felt
he would upgrade that third line immensely, and that would give us 3 scoring lines.
Don't you feel like he was the best player in the playoffs for the Bruins?
Amongst them, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
played very well.
Yeah, well, and Bruins don't miss Orlov or Hathaway at all, right?
No,
I liked Orlov. I got to tell you.
Yeah, but this Mason kid kind of is a nice replacement.
I don't think he's quite what Orlov was. Orlov was a very good player.
In the
I'd like a fighter like Hathaway, though. I wouldn't mind a guy that was good with his dukes like Hathaway. All we got right now is Trent Frederick.
Yeah, isn't Forbort coming back? He's pretty good, right?
Yeah, he'll be.
Luch.
Oh, for God's sake. All right, boys. Well, that's our show for tonight. I want to thank the fellas. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Thursday night at 7 p.m. for another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night.